Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I'm using the Silver Knight Straight Sword. Now this weapon, I hadn't used it in a little while. The last time I used it was when I was doing my Battle of the Uploaders versus Rosie. So if you want to see more action with this sword, you can check out that video I've got on that. Or that video I've got doing that, or something like that. You can figure it out what I'm trying to say. I don't know. So, Silver Knight Straight Sword. This weapon, it's pretty decent. In my opinion, this weapon is best when you are at relatively low dexterity or not on a quality build. And the reason I'm saying that is because it does, for me, roughly 380 damage. Now, because I'm on a quality build, this is bad because even a short sword does more damage than the Silver Knight Straight Sword does for me. So, at a point, this sword will be the best that you can use. But once you pass that point, it will be in the lower end on the damage, although it is still about 50 higher than what the barbed straight sword does for me. So, really, as far as the damage output, it's not too bad. I mean, it's like 20 different than a regular longsword. Sunlight Straight Sword, Balder Side Sword is actually a little less than this. I believe it's about 10 less for me. In the end, it's really not that bad for the damage output. Plus, its R2 attacks, when both two-handed and one-handed, they've got a pretty good stun ability. They stun pretty easily. I believe at 53 poise, those two-handed attacks will stun on the first hit. So that's pretty good. Like a regular longsword, though, its two-handed attacks will, its R1s, when two-handed, will stun on the second hit, like a regular longsword. So it's pretty good. I mean, typical longsword. It's got those unique little R2s that make it, well, unique. Damage output is pretty decent. Its main limitation, in my opinion, though, is, well, maybe it's not so much a limitation, but maybe it's just me. I guess I'm used to using weapons now that cause a lot of stamina damage when someone blocks them. And the Silver Knight Straight Sword doesn't really have that. So I guess it's probably just me. It's probably about average stamina damage when you hit someone's shield. But, I don't know, I guess I'm just not used to that anymore. So, I don't know. Either way, though, it's got a pretty fun moveset. I do enjoy its R2 attacks. It would be really cool, in my opinion, if, maybe if there was like a great sword, Silver Knight Great Sword, that'd be nice. I'd like that. If it had a similar moveset to the Silver Knight Straight Sword's R2s, those would be kind of cool looking, in my opinion. But yeah, that's completely random and a pointless tangent that I've gone off on. Right here, just have some gankers, and I pulled out the Shodel because, I mean, this guy was holding his shield up the entire time, and I mean, come on. Why am I gonna bother just swinging away? I might as well actually, you know, do damage and kill him. And stop this pathetic ganking attempt. And, you know, give him a little point down because I can. So, yeah. Now right here, quick little ambush. Not too bad, not too bad. I've seen better. He's using a Murakumo, so, yeah, good for him, I guess. And that's one thing I really don't like about fighting a Murakumo. It can keep the backstabs from happening. It's been annoying, but oh well. So, for the pros of the Silver Knight Straight Sword, getting back on topic, we have, it's got a pretty long reach, for a straight sword that is. It doesn't have the thrusting attacks though. So that makes its reach, well, where the blade ends on its swing. We've got its unique R2s that can stun pretty easily. It can be buffed, actually. That's one thing about it that a lot of people don't know. The Silver Knight Straight-Sword can, in fact, be buffed. So there's a pro. It does roughly 380 damage at the most, so that's pretty decent. Can't really complain about it. It's a little under average for a Straight-Sword, but it's still above some of the other ones, so it's around there. It's pretty good. And I don't know what happened here. I mean, I got ganked, and then they both go and jump off the edge. I don't know. I'm not going to question it. No complaints from me. Not questioning it. Plus, I got a ton of souls, so, you know, hey, can't complain. Another pro about the Silver Knight Straight Sword is... Well, I guess that's just a regular straight sword pro. I was going to say its one-handed running attack is the wide sweep that it does, but that's really just a regular straight sword thing. It's nothing special about this. Now, the cons, it doesn't have a thrusting attack. Actually, I think a two-handed rolling attack might be a thrust. I'm not exactly positive on that, but other than that, it doesn't have one, and that sort of limits its reach a bit. Other cons, this straight sword actually weighs 6 units, so that's comparable to the dark sword. So really, it's not a bad weight, but it is a bit heavy for a straight sword that doesn't have a thrusting attack, doesn't have as much reach. But I like those R2 attacks, they are pretty good, and I mean, I really can't complain about that. Critical damage is, it's average for a straight sword. So, yeah. Altogether, it's pretty much an average straight sword. It's got decent damage. It's got the ability to do good combos. It's got those unique R2s, which are really good at hitting people with a wake-up from coming up off the ground. It's good for getting a wake-up. It's just got the right timing for it, it seems. Other than that, I really can't think of any other pros or cons. Really, the weight and the reach are kind of the bad points to this weapon, although the reach is pretty good. So, again, we've got this guy trying to do his little trap thing. Kind of obvious with those items over there. And I saw a tree actually walking away, so I knew he was over in this general direction. So, if you're gonna do that, you should kill the trees. And I got hit by the Gravelord Greatsword dance, or whatever dance it was. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between the Greatsword dance and the regular sword dance. I don't really know if there is a way to tell a difference, but oh well. So yeah. That's the end of him, get a nice little parry, and finish him off. And shrug, like, oh well. So, yeah. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, hope you found the few points I said about the sword helpful. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.